Clips. Remember, citizens, always subscribe, hit the bell, everything will be well, kinda. In 1995, plus shipping and handling will keep you out of hell. I'm sorry, things are a wee bit mucked up on the old Enterprise and stuff. Welcome everybody that's joined for One Bells. I often wondered, in my opinion, that a decent looking chick was sitting playing politics, and then I heard her speak. Oh, then nobody can hear her speak right now, I don't think.
Hardest to outbid.
Right, and again, I'm literally waiting on the fucking headphones to arrive right now, but unfortunately,
how they would cut action on climate change. They will leave us vulnerable to more.
Vulnerable about the wobble wobbit. Right, so I now get where our gripe against the world comes from. That's how she's ended up in politics.
All freak natural disasters. The caretaker minister opposite says it's his job to chair Cobra meetings, but it should be the job of the Prime Minister to lead. Yesterday
should be the job of the opposition to oppose. And who have we got opposing? Our current flubberly flu, fucking more posher than you, Prime Minister. Sir Keir Starmer. Cunt fucking couldn't sound like he's fucking gobbling, juggling any more marbles in his mouth as he fucking tried. I love this House of Commons shit. I see all these. Look at all these commoners. Look, all these commoners having Cobra meetings. Yeah! Cobra meeting to me means Cobra Kai. Some Karate Kid shit. Where's the commoners in the House of Commons? They throw you a wee bit of leg every now and again, and she bounces up and she's like, but bounce again, more bouncing, more marbles out their mouth. Where are the normal people that can speak properly, speak like you, like you could communicate with in a boozer without fucking getting fucking this shit? When did that stop? I would love to categorise and like pure nail down when it stopped. When did the House of Commoners stop getting filled with commoners? When did a political underclass under the House of Lords start to exist? Oh man, I could go on and on and on and on and on. It just bore everybody to tears because all they do is want to hear about fucking flat earth, vaccines and fucking Illuminati retardedness. And anybody that says anything against that, he's obviously just fell against the state. They'd rather just love to sit around and blow smoke up each other's arse about the same conspiratardness that's been going around for ages. And if you inject any different thinking, nah, you're put in a naughty step. You're put on the naughty step. No room for you. Don't pass go. Do not go here. You're skepticism about retardation, the conspirators is not welcome because I'm a conspiratard.
Minister to lead. Yesterday, the remaining cabinet.
See, it's the things like that that make me so many friends. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's Maybe it's pointing out one of my favourite comedy sketches of all time is Catherine Tate's on PC translator. It's fucking genius, man. It's everything you've done since like primary 5 to high school before the high school tried to beat it out you. Like before high school beat the fun out you. Your ability to point and laugh at people's fucking differences and see it as a joke and funny and not like some sort of a deep thing that you want to go and exterminate people or something. Just on the surface level of, yeah, they're different from me, they're funny, let's point and laugh. What's wrong with that? What the fuck is wrong with that? Anyway, she's different from me, but she's big and she's beautiful, she's got red hair, just like me, look, exact same colour of hair. But she's got a big thick tongue. She can't speak properly. But apparently this will be me being either homophobic, I don't know, is she gay? Against women, what's that? Misogynist. Might be anti-ginger, even though I'm definitely ginger myself. Or maybe I just like to poke fun at funny shit. Well, I don't know, but I can tell you where the minister was when he was trying to peek up your skirt when you were wearing that lovely little wee red number the other day, man, at PMQs. Because they came out and told you. Ah, God.
Where was he when Cobra was called last weekend?
Yep. Some say politics is show business for ugly people. Sometimes politics just turns out to be show business for people with speech impediments. What can I say?
The Prime Minister attended any ministers or senior officials in the days since. Isn't it the truth that the Prime Minister and the entire government have gone missing while Britain burns? We might have cooler temperatures to...
Ah, fuck off, bitch! I just done the fucking headline Europe burns the other day, man. And that's my fucking clickbait in this title. And she's using it. Dear me. Can't believe that.
Mr. Speaker, but another heat wave is inevitable as our climate heats up.
Right. She's decent looking, but you wouldn't want her to shout your name out too loudly. We want to cram her fucking tongue back in there and tell her to stop lisping. Yeah, speak properly, bitch, before you cry out my name in ecstasy. Ah!
Britain cannot continue to be...
We cannot continue not to fucking find this shit funny. No! This isn't funny. You've got to vote UKIP, take it very seriously, and Sargon of Akkad, and Count Spunkula, and all that jazz.
So unprepared. He tells people to drink water and wear a hat. It's just not good enough. We need...
What are you talking about? That's what every news channel's been telling me to do fucking for the last 2 weeks. Drink water and wear the hat. And then...
Need a long-term emergency resilience.
I know lassies that look better than you that I guarantee... Well, in fact, I don't guarantee. She could be a live one, man, definitely.
plan for the future. So can the Minister say, where is the plan for delivery of essential services? How will people be kept safe at work, on transport, in hospitals and in our care homes? Where is the guidance for safe indoor working temperatures? He now says the government's National Resilience Plan will be published in due course by the new administration. It's already 10 months.
Right, is this still pathetic? Is anybody willing to call this out for the pathetic? No, Labour, this is bipartisan. Like, I'm the founding father of Estonia. I've declared myself independent. I've wrote myself a declaration of independence. I've held myself my own 2 general elections. I'm independent. All this shit is just like fucking, it's like tinsel on a fucking Christmas tree to me, man. It's all just shiny, 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 shiny. It means fuck all. It meant fuck all before I, publicly, internationally, legally, go and check this shit out, legally declared myself independent for all this shit. I'm out. Look at this shit show. Can you believe any of this pish? Any of it. What a pile of shit.
Overdue, Mr. Speaker. Why should the British people be forced to wait a whole year? It is the primary duty of any government to keep the public safe, and Britain deserves much better than this. Labour already has a resilience plan for the long term. We would implement a department-wide approach and appoint a Minister for Resilience. We would give local government the resources they need to plan and prepare for emergencies. And I'd just like to say that local government has been on the front line, and I pay tribute to their response to this crisis and what they did during the pandemic. But their resilience, Mr. Speaker, has been eroded by 12 years of cuts and austerity at the hands of this government. And finally, Mr. Speaker, Labour would empower businesses and civil society organisations to strengthen our response. Homes have been destroyed, our brave firefighters hospitalised, and lives have been ruined and lost. Enough is enough. If he's not willing to take the action, Mr. Speaker, we on this side of the House are.
Hey!
Well, Mr. Speaker, what a shame that
What a shame.
the loss of some homes and obviously some tragic deaths and water-related incidents, the Honourable Lady didn't take the opportunity to recognise that by and large the system worked, that the planning we put in place and the resilience that we built into all those public services and public servants, frankly, that she lauded, actually meant that the
My daddy is
event,
bigger than your daddy.
pretty good shape. We also recognised that there were some unfortunate incidents, and as I say, a number of homes that were set on fire. But the fact that we kept
Set on fire. I think I would go under the bracket of fucked up.
through this difficulty was not recognised by her at all, and I think that's a real shame. Secondly, just to correct something that she claimed when she said there was no mutual aid available.
And
This is not correct. There was one.
Sorry about the audio,
fire
but
rescue
the
service
audio
called
will
for
be
National
corrected
Mutual Aid,
today
which is Norfolk,
once
and mutual aid
Amazon
was provided
gets off their
from other
arse.
parts of the country. So the system we have in place for flexing the use of the fire service across the whole of the country worked extremely well.
Flexing?
As the chair of the National Fire Chiefs Council was able to confirm to the Prime Minister last night and indeed this morning. Now, the Honourable Lady seemed to claim that this was the first time I've turned up at the House. It's not. It's the second time I've been in the House to discuss this issue, and we've been working on this since the weather forecasters gave us notification that this extreme weather event was likely to occur. It is, however, Mr. Speaker, the first time the Honourable Lady has turned up to the House. Well, you were doing a radio station. Well, being in your office is not being on the front bench. Present but not involved, I think, is the claim. So before she starts flinging stones, maybe she should polish the glass in her house before she claims that others are
Maybe
not
she
doing
should
their
polish her husband's
As to the
dick.
involvement of the Prime Minister, he's been kept in touch with our work
Shit,
throughout,
don't say that
either
out
through
loud.
personal briefings by me or indeed last night, this morning, briefings by the Chief Officer of the National Fire Chiefs Council and the Civil Contingency Secretariat. She, I'm afraid, will never know, because I hope she's never in government. Number 10 and the Cabinet Office work very closely together when these emergency situations arise and when we need to put in place plans and specific coordination work to make sure that we all understand what the picture is. As far as the resilience plan, as I said, the plan is in progress and will be launched as soon as we get a new administration into number 10. But she should not mistake the publication of a national resilience plan for us not having any plans at all. As we saw, Mr. Speaker, in all manner of areas of the function in our country, the plans that we have in place worked well. The capacity that we stood up flexed brilliantly often to deal with this ever-changing situation, and as I say, most of the country got through it in good shape.
And I'm sorry about the bad audio, man. I'll have earplugs today.
It's me.
And the backup fucking headset as well, which I should have had in the first place.
Which is to deal specifically with issues of resilience and make sure
it'll be all sorted
as it did
by the end of the day. I was hoping it would be actually delivered by now.
Yesterday, wildfires in northwest Norfolk destroyed properties in Brancaster Estate and also destroyed habitats and wildlife at the famous Wild Ken Hill estate that's well known from hosting the BBC Springwatch. So can I put on record my constituents' immense thanks to the Norfolk Fire Service and the other emergency services, as well as all those in the local community who helped to tackle these blazes in such awful circumstances, and they will recover and rebuild those communities. And in doing so, will he also reinforce our commitment to achieve net zero so that we are better protected from this climate change?
Well, the Honourable Gentleman is quite
right. I'm the only one that realises net zero means that we're dead.
Yesterday, and indeed did receive mutual aid, I think, from as far afield.
The second you're born,
to help them in that
you're carbon negative.
Stay, I understand, in situ.
You breathe.
Sure
You fart.
Norfolk Fire Rescue Service can kind of get back on its feet and deal with anything that may come in the next few days. And while we are very focused on the continuing elevated risk of wildfire,
crazy.
He is quite right.
Orwellian motherfucking weird shit.
Both to make our own contribution to the battle against climate change, but frankly to lead the world and challenge some of the biggest.
See, if it wasn't fucking religious nutballs saying it, I would believe the shit they're saying.
In Parliament to come.
Personally, it's religious nutballs who are saying it out of pure blind religious beliefs.
The Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster giving a statement on the government's response to the heatwave after the worst day of fires since the Second World War. He praised the fire services and also the public response, saying that the government's preparation for the extreme weather worked.
Every conspirator
disagreed though. She said that Britain can't continue to be slow on
baby
prepared,
Jesus.
and there needs to be a long-term plan to keep people safe.
No accent.
Well, as we've just been hearing, firefighters in
you know how
London
many people's arseholes will be like that because I said, but fuck the baby Jesus.
Ignited in the extreme heat. Flames ripped through houses, schools and churches and are continuing to burn across the country after temperatures topped 40 degrees in the UK for the first time.
I'm not bored with lunatics like that, man.
In England, the fire brigade
understand where they're coming from.
In Hertfordshire, Suffolk,
Norfolk,
Leicestershire, Lincolnshire, Nottinghamshire.
They can't tolerate me, I can tolerate them, but
in
they can't
Norfolk and in
tolerate
Suffolk,
me.
several
That always
fires
seems to
started
be
in
the
fields,
script.
with some then spreading to houses. The fire service faced a large grass fire and a fire at a farm in Leicestershire as well. And firefighters
People can't
blazes
tolerate
across Lincolnshire
my
from Boston
view,
to Stamford,
because it
including
really
a major
just makes
fire
our head
affecting
go.
several fields near the village of Gayton Le Marsh. In Nottingham,
It injects
a
too
farm
much
fire
logic
consumed for
into
miles,
their
with 15 crews and
fucking
75
polarised
firefighters
rabbit
on
hole,
that scene.
aka
While in
rat
Hertfordshire,
hole
firefighters attended
beliefs.
more than 240 emergency incidents, including several field and crop
Well,
fires.
beyond
At
vaccinations,
least
this,
14
that, and the
separate
other.
fires sprung up across the capital, from Hillingdon in West London to Upminster.
Nobody wants to
in the
listen
east.
to me.
But
They
the
just
largest
don't.
fire
I'll
was
listen
in
to you, mate.
Wellington,
I just
as
disagree.
fires
Listen
across
out,
the
listen to
reports.
me. No, you're Illuminati.
This thick
Well, hold
black
on.
smoke could
You
be
want me to
seen
listen to
from
you, but you
miles
don't want to listen to
away
me.
as the village of Wellington was engulfed in flame, spreading
Don't
at a
watch the
dangerous
chemtrails,
speed.
mate. Oh, it's
The
good
blaze
weather, it's good
ripped through
chemtrail weather. We'll
buildings,
get hunters of
and
them
as
right now.
locals were evacuated, feelings of shock were shared.
And don't ask the question, my high pressure equals lots of chemtrails.
and I was just worried.
Obviously, the chemtrails just love the good weather, and they just go out like, hey!
And my first thing was get my kids out.
I used to see this kind of fires on TV.
Well, they're just chemtrailing us all, you know, spraying us like ants and
they said that our house, it couldn't be saved. So that's when we
I remember all
tried to grab a few bits from the shed.
rants and raves.
Everything in the house was lost.
Still present to this day, man.
We didn't grab much, you know, just a few bits, just a few memories.
I'm really not here to, like...
As they
Pointing
processed
in the
what
elbows
happened,
and shit, man.
residents
But
gathered at makeshift
people still
refuge
fucking
centres like this one.
sitting there, like, discussing, like, fucking...
Next door's garden's on fire. So we once we got the hose pipe, cut the water.
There's a celebrity. I see one of them. Like, that polarised.
I was actually
That
upstairs at the time, and I
fucking
actually saw
polarised.
from my window, like, the flames really close to the house.
What do
so
you mean are they one of
actually
them? Well,
very,
did they
very
stay in
panicked.
Los
Only
Angeles, or
just got my
have
phone,
they went to hunters at
nothing else.
orgies?
Following a day which saw temperatures exceed 40 degrees, firefighters fought
Go!
numerous blazes.
Write your comments below. Have you been to Los Angeles and been to hunters at orgies? Right, but this computes into like eyes wide shut, fucking us and them, fucking pure polarised, fucking like any cunt that goes to an orgy or anything's a paedophile, obviously.
Yesterday was the busiest
No,
day
I'm
for
just
fire
like pure
service
big
in
bunch of
London
sex
since the
pests,
Second
or
World
big
War.
bunch of hedonists,
properties
big
destroyed
bunch of
in
cunts with
London.
big piles of
65
cash, with people
fighters
willing to
were
fucking
injured,
take
some
that
taken
cash
to hospital because of
without
the
asking
stress.
any questions and willing to do fucking anything. You know, like, that doesn't enter the dynamic. No. It's eyes wide shut stuff.
Will take time to determine, but we know that houses, schools and churches in the area have been affected.
And,
What's driven the blaze? Well, it's the dry conditions
It makes
as well
me
as the hot
realise why...
temperatures, which has meant the situation has been so volatile.
Because of climate change, we have started observing
I hurt people's brains. Shit I say hurts people's brains. And when you hurt people's brains, me included, by the way, they react unfairly. And they typically don't go, oh, he's a good guy, I mean, it's like, he's one of them.
This blaze will be a stark reminder of the dangers
And to some
extreme
people's
heat
nuts,
can bring.
it is that
Zahid,
fucking stupefied. He's one of them.
We can go live now to near Newton Lintonford in Leicestershire, where
I've heard
services are
that.
still
I've witnessed
dealing
it.
with some
I've
smouldering
seen it.
woodland. Sky's Lisa Dowd is there.
It's
and
no
you
for
can see
fucking
behind you,
CC
the
being
wreckage of
fit free. This, that,
Yeah,
the
flight
other, man.
crews in
I've
Leicestershire
witnessed
were
the
first called to
absolute
yesterday
lunacy.
during that unprecedented heat, and even now we are seeing pockets of flames keep popping up here and there. We show you the wider scene, it's quite tough conditions, very thick undergrowth, there's bracken, and what they're finding is the fire is travelling underground and then popping up here and there, and they are using surface water to try and dampen it down, but also injecting the ground in places as well with water. And we've had some wind here, it's cooled down, but we haven't had any rain, and that could mean, couldn't it, Station Manager Terry, that you could be here for a few days or so?
Yeah, that's correct. We've got a large-scale fire here, approximately 20,000 square feet. We've got crews, we've got 6 fire engines that are currently working geographically to
Amazon
try and maintain, control the fire, and as you mentioned before, just tackle those pockets that we keep discovering all around. It's hard work with the heat wave. The crews are working hard. We're trying to rotate to keep that going. I think it's really important regarding people understanding the extreme incidents that we're having because of the heat wave.
How unprecedented was it yesterday?
Unprecedented, definitely is the word. We had our fire control dealt with over 1,000 calls, and which 218 of those were emergencies. So our resources were really stretched, and that's why we dealt and we declared a major incident, because our resources were really shortened.
What would you say to people? I mean, how can you kind of counteract what's going on here? Because, you know, this woodland could be up in flames now if it wasn't for you guys.
Of course, it shows the value and the importance of what we do, but also shows the importance about people staying safe and making sure that if they are going to have barbecues and bonfires, then they are to, we would recommend not to in this heat, but just make sure they've got extinguishing media, hose pipes or buckets to help them if anything was to get out of control. Also to practice safe smoking with discarded cigarette butts, and if there is anything to get out, stay out.
Safe smoking? Is that not a contradiction in terms?
No, the fire investigation here has not started. That will be coming in due course once we've been dealt with.
Do you feel, I mean, we could have a downpour at some point, it's not materialised, but would that help? Would that put these fires out? Because it's a large area, isn't it, that you're trying to sort out?
This bag
of course, the downpour would assist us, but it wouldn't assist us with the subterranean level that we need to get in, and we need to do a physical attack on that with the equipment that fire service have.
And of course, this wasn't the only major incident you had on yesterday, was it? You were fighting fires all over the place.
Fires all over the county. I think there was 118 incidents that we had going completely all at once. So yeah, we was non-stop fighting fires yesterday.
Once you're finished hitting your dust cans,
that the fire crews, if we don't get
for the NHS, now you can go out and donate to the firemen for keeping us alive.
A drain on their
You
resources
know,
as well.
and then you can ask the government to cut your taxes.
Now, the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, defended his secretary for the very last time this lunchtime.
Does nobody see the joke in that? Is it only me that thinks that's fucking hilarious?
His final words.
Thank you, BBC. Then you can also pay or not pay your TV licence, for example.
My successor, whoever he or she may be. Number one, stay close to the Americans. Stick up for the Ukrainians. Stick up for freedom.
Stay close to the Americans.
Cut taxes and deregulate wherever you can to make this the greatest place to live and invest, which it is. I love the Treasury, but remember that if we'd always listened to the Treasury, we wouldn't have built the M25 or the Channel Tunnel. Focus
if we always listen to the Treasury.
Focus on the road ahead, but always remember to check the rear view mirror. And remember, above all, it's not Twitter that counts. It's the people that sent us here. And yes, the last few years have been the greatest privilege of my life. And it's true that I helped to get the biggest Tory majority for 40 years and a huge realignment in UK politics, Mr. Speaker. We've transformed our democracy and restored our national independence, as my right honourable friend says. I've helped to get this country through a pandemic and helped save another country from barbarism. And frankly, that's enough to be going on with. Mission largely accomplished. For now, I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank all the wonderful staff of the House of Commons. I want to thank all my friends and colleagues. I want to thank my right friend opposite, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank everybody here, and hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby. Fucking bastard.
Largely accomplished, according to Boris Johnson. But of course, just 3 people now remain in the race to become the next Prime Minister, and that is the Trade Minister, Penny Mordaunt, the former Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, and the Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss. Now, the final 2 are going to be revealed at around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Tomorrow, MPs break for the summer holidays, and it will then be over to the party's near 200,000 members to choose the winner, who will be named on the 5th of September. Well, our political editor, Vista, is here with us, and it was the Prime Minister's questions. I guess everyone with an eye on that race to succeed Boris Johnson.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, there was. But before we get to that, let's just kind of digest what he said in there. I mean, there he was, his final statement in the House, and he said, mission largely accomplished, hasta la vista, baby. Now, what Arnie Schwarzenegger says in Terminator Judgment Day after that is, I'll be back. And I mean, the first question is, has he left that hanging? Has he left us guessing about what does Boris Johnson do next? But in terms of a couple of things in there, in terms of the policies of, is it mission accomplished? I think that he goes out of office with lots of things are not accomplished that he would have wanted to, in terms of no trade deal with the US, for example,
but
thinking
offers
about
a wee
Arnie
bit.
Schwarzenegger,
And a
that
wee
hasn't been done. Brexit in Northern Ireland, the issues around protocol
So it's
still not resolved.
more of a
Levelling
link,
up, he
and then
never got to really get
wee
his teeth
USB
into that,
port
what was meant to be his big agenda. And
on
why?
the-
Because COVID really,
on the side of the
really
backpack.
disturbed his whole premiership
So
for
plug
the
that
first
into
18
my
months
external
at
battery,
least.
and then.
But it was still divided in there, I
not
think,
too
with the Prime
shabby.
Minister as he left. Yes, they stood up to applaud, but the eagle-eyed that were in the chamber noted that Theresa May did not initially stand up, and when she did finally stand up, she didn't applaud him. So leaving, even in controversy, even there, the party still divided.
Oh
And
my
then I
God!
think the other thing
How
about
much
that
do
Prime
you
Minister's
think she's
questions
bald
leading
and
into
she's
the
got a
leadership
wig?
debate was the way in
She
which
looks like one of the witches
recent
at
battles between the
Whip
leading
or something,
candidates
you know,
to
but
replace
she's
the
got
Prime
like
Minister
square
have
toes
written
now.
now the attack lines for Labour, and Keir Starmer there, I think, had one of the best PMQs I've seen him perform, but that was because he's been gifted material by a party that now is publicly infighting, as Tory candidates have taken chunks out of each other and in doing so criticised the government's own record. And if you were a Conservative backbencher sitting there listening to Keir Starmer play back some of the things that was said, let's just quickly run through some of them, Sophie. Penny Mordaunt, our public services are in a desperate state. Rishi Sunak to other candidates, this is fantasy economics. Liz Truss to Rishi Sunak, your tax rises have pushed the country, will push the country into a recession. If you had a plan for growth in the past 2.5 years, I haven't seen them. And then Kemi Badenoch, why should the public trust us when we haven't exactly covered ourselves in glory? And for the Conservative benches to have come in an 80-seat majority, see the Prime Minister leave, the bench is still divided and candidates taking pot shots out of each other. It's really uncomfortable. And I think the final thing on that is, in terms of the policies, Boris Johnson saying they're mission accomplished, but what about the politics? He built that red wall and now he's leaving in the manner in which he's leaving. Can his successors continue the political legacy that he left his party back in 2019? It's very, very uncertain times for the Conservatives at the moment, and perhaps that's why also Keir Starmer looks so comfortable at the dispatch box.
Yeah, certainly good promises questions from Keir Starmer, as you were saying, the attacks really written for him. Beth, a quick thought from you while we've got you as well about what we're expecting later today.
Well, I mean, I've been talking to MPs all morning. It is so close between Penny Mordaunt and Liz Truss. There's some sense that I'm picking up from the Mordaunt camp and her supporters, a little bit of confidence. There's definitely a Stop Liz Truss campaign in the House of Commons. One rival said to me that they fear that Liz Truss is the continuity candidate of Boris Johnson, but without his charm, which is a pretty critical thing to say of her, but worried that she'll continue his legacy without maybe having the appealability to some members of the public. So it's a really bitter race between the three. It's not clear who's going to make it through to the final two, but I think the final thought in terms of what the Prime Minister did in that end speech was, I did detect, I think, some support there for Liz Truss. One of his messages to all his would-be successors, please cut taxes and deregulate. Well, who wants to do that? And then a little dig at the Treasury. Said, I love the Treasury, but always remember, with the Treasury or following their advice, you'd have never built the M25 with the Channel Tunnel. You know the rows that Boris Johnson had with the Treasury.
I hate Amazon, but I love them.
Infrastructure projects, and I wondered whether that was a not-so-subtle dig at Rishi Sunak, but all will be revealed. I think you'll be covering it with me at 4 o'clock.
We'll be there at 4 p.m. to sort of take you through. And as Beth was saying, very, very unpredictable. So actually quite exciting or nerve-wracking, depending on your point of view.
I mean, last time when it was Boris Johnson going into the final two, we knew he was nailed on, and then it was the battle between Gove and Hunt. But really, it was always going to be Hunt because he was the Remainer. This time, it genuinely is. I can't call it.
I'm also quite, to be honest, quite confused about the voting.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of skullduggery going on.
I still think she looks like she's at the...
Thank you very much for your analysis there. Quick reminder, as we were just saying, MPs are voting right now in order to decide which two leadership hopefuls will go through to the run-off vote among Conservative Party members. We will bring you that result live here on Sky News when it's expected. It should be about 4 o'clock this afternoon. They've been pretty timely, I have to say, so far. Do stay with us for that. Well, let's return now, shall we, to
Yeah,
the
well,
heat waves and the
you can
extreme
still hear
temperatures
shit,
that
but
we've
I
seen
can't
in
hear
mainland
fuck
Europe,
all.
which have left authorities struggling to bring large wildfires under control. Thousands of people have been
Oh, I
forced
do
to
know
leave their
what happened
homes in
there.
Spain, Portugal, Greece and...
Do know what happened there.
Our correspondent
Not
Siobhan
too
Robbins
worried,
has the very latest from the Gironde region in southwest France.
This is what happens when a wildfire rips through. In France, a tourist haven, now hell. Bikes lean melted and mangled, abandoned by holidaymakers as they fled the flames, which devoured 5 campsites.
You can see here just how hot the fire was. The walls of this building have totally bubbled up inside, just twisted metals. The skeleton
Right,
remains.
my argument about this shit is it's to
So
take
much
your
has
eyes
been
off of
lost
what's
here,
happening in
and
Syria.
it's still not safe.
Because Russia's winning.
Leaking gas can
by
be
all
seen
accounts.
openly burning,
And when I say winning,
adding to
it
this
depends
already
what
monumental challenge.
your idea of winning and losing is.
But
You
for
know,
French
it's
fire
all
crews,
subjective.
there is no escape. Day
It is
after
all
day,
subjective,
they
I
return
understand
to the
that.
battle.
We must keep the fight, all the people, because we must stop this fire.
There is no respite for evacuees either. Families forced to flee their houses.
Right.
Sabrina and her baby Catalina got a call in the night. Told, leave now, the fire is coming. They still don't know if it took their home.
On sait pas, je suis en train de me dire, est-ce qu'il est prêt, est-ce qu'il est loin? Tout ce que je veux, c'est d'aller voir, mais on peut pas. J'ai envie que ça se finisse, cette catastrophe, c'est fini, j'en veux plus la vivre. C'est trop dur.
Well, it's the same kind of shit that will get said against the British when they rock up on things
But they
like this.
have no choice. There's no way of knowing when the fires will finally be beaten.
Swim with the
or what
sharks.
will be left.
Get out with the sharks.
Siobhan Robbins, Sky News, Southwest France.
And that's exactly what's happening right now.
Siobhan joins us live now from an evacuation centre in Le Teste-Bouche in southwest France. And Siobhan, we just heard there some of the stories that you've been hearing, people really struggling.
What am I trying to do? Connect this?
It's really heartbreaking. Let me show you around one of these centres first. You can see just how quickly they've mobilised. So we've got in the corner here, this is a pets corner. So people who've brought their cats and their dogs, many people managed to just grab them as they left their homes. They're in that corner. And then we've got here a makeshift doctor's surgery. So if you maybe have prescription medication or you need to have a check-in with the doctor, you can do that there. Then we've got here some lifeguards, they're local volunteers who've come down just to help out, to really mobilise the aid. And then down the back there, you can see all of the blue camp beds which have been set up so that people can sleep. A few people have managed to get little cabins, like little rooms off the back there, so people with babies like Sabrina that you saw in the report, she's in one of those, but the others are sleeping out on the floor. And we've been to several of these centres over the last few days. Really difficult scenes. They're grateful that they're safe, many wondering what's happened to their home. Some people wondering when they're going to be able to go back home, because that also isn't clear, because it's important to remember there are 2 fires going on here in Gironde in southwest France, one here and one in another area. Both of them are continuing to burn. The good news overnight was they seem to get a little bit more control of it, because the temperature has dropped a bit here, the winds have dropped, they've been fighting very hard, dropping water from the sky, water from the ground, dropping fire retardant liquid as well. That does seem to have contained it a bit, but they're definitely
proper
not
Pokemon
out of danger
dropping water
at the
from the
moment.
fire.
So they're
from the
here
sky.
wondering what's next for
Dropping
them. At the
water
same
from the
time,
fire.
firefighters today who've been involved in
Proper little
this, some of them
Pokemon.
will get a visit from the French President, Emmanuel Macron. He's coming this afternoon to speak to
I'm gonna plug
emergency
this in for
services
you to do
involved.
something, but
It's
in the
interesting he's not
meantime-
coming to an evacuation centre like this. I wonder what type of reception he'd get. Some people have been saying, has enough been done? Was it all done too late? When I spoke to firefighters about this, about the President's visit, they said essentially they're not really that bothered by it.
Let 'em
They
burn.
say they have their
Fuck
job
'em.
to do. He has
Give a
his
fuck.
job to do. His job is going around talking to people involved in this fight. Their job is to continue the battle, and that is what they're doing. And we still don't know how long they're going to have to do that for.
Siobhan, thank you. Siobhan Robbins there in southwest France for us. You're watching Sky News at 1. Coming up, Inflation hits a new high, with food and petrol prices rising at their fastest rate for decades.
Woo! At some point, I'll take chip.
Look at that sheet of flame, and it's moving this way.
And over there
is
Dover.
Track the changes happening to our world right now.
I think it's a procession of the
Global warming, man! Get with the fucking program! We fart, we die.
I just want to say thank you.
What's so not to understand about that? What's so complicated?
I thought there was an astonishing story there.
We need to cut out soil and farts from our food sources. So we need to kill all the animals to save all the animals. Do you get me? That's what we need to do. And at the same time, making you look a fucking wee pandemic fucking sitting on your couch watch Netflix 24/7 fucking vegetable. Ding ding! Tick that box. Don't have that on my fucking bucket list anymore, thank you very much. Woo! I'm even shitting you, man. Pandemic Netflix vegetable. It's going to be. It's going to enter the fucking
in
Oxford
the UK hit a fresh 40-year high last
Book
month.
of World
That's according
Records
to data released
Dictionary.
this morning by the Office for National Statistics.
It's
The
real!
index rose to 9.4%, which was slightly higher than
9.4.
city economists had been expecting.
That's worse
It's up
than
from
9.2.
9.1% in May.
Oh, 9.1! Oh, it's even worse! Oh my god!
News has found that London has the highest rate of inflation at 12.7%.
Oh, not the
And Yorkshire and Humber
12.7.
has the lowest at 5.7%.
Oh, down a bit.
Business Centre
5.6.
in King
Oh my
County
lord.
from the city.
Blythe!
This was slightly
Come
higher
on!
than
Grey
expected
hair!
this
Golden
Yes, that's
tan!
right. The main drivers
The
so
shard behind
this
them.
increase were
Tell
petrol
us.
prices, which obviously rose quite sharply during the month
Yeah,
of June.
I don't know
and
about
also
yous guys,
food
I
prices,
believe
which
them.
rose during the month at their fastest rate since March 2009. And the Office for National Statistics
What?
specifically singled
Since
out
the fastest time since 2009. 2009. That's like almost like 10. Do you know how long the world's been alive? Only since fucking Betamax came out. And then this record has been set since 2009. Oh! And then the thing that they were taking records way back then was less accurate than the stuff that we use to take records right now. But shush! I don't know about you, I'm shitting my pants.
milk, cheese, and eggs as items.
Cheese and eggs! Not my cheese! Oh, hold on. Now he's got me fucking listening. I don't know about you. I was sitting there eating my my croissant brought to me for the local deli for my housekeeper fucking mini Farquhar. And then I heard the news about my egg and cheese.
That had exerted particular upward pressure on the basket of goods that's measured to come up with the inflation figure. It also cited
the basket of goods which is measured to bring up to the inflation. Well, where are we getting this basket? What's in this basket? Who chooses what's in the basket? Oh my god, man. Are we all that stupid? Are people that have went to school and got qualifications from school? Because I went to school every now and again. I just didn't get in from it. Self-evident idiot. But on the same token, who are the motherfucking cunts eating their croissants right now, gobbling this fucking gobshite shite up a bit, down a bit, left a bit, And how many people are going to go and put their wee 100 or 1,000, their wee half mil, their wee mil stash, and stick it there, make a wee 100,000, stick it there, make a wee 0.5% here, wee 0.5% here, you know?
Higher vegetable meat
and
prices of ready meals as well. I think what will concern...
I'm going to invest in ready meals! Tesco! No Tesco, they're mediocre. They're the supermarket that allows you to surf the edge. You know? You can buy the Tesco finest and be middle class. But you can also get the no frills. I can't remember what they've dressed it up as now. Shit. And you can be the scumbag. You can be lower than farm foods and Iceland and farm foods. Sorry.
The Bank of England in particular, though, it's the fact that we also got a number today for producer price inflation. This is what we sometimes used to call factory gate inflation, the price of goods when they leave the factory. That came in at 17%, and that points to potentially further price increases coming down the line for consumers. On the plus side, there was a slight tailing off in the pace of core inflation, which is those sort of key elements of the inflation basket that looked
hookers and blow
that really make up
the prices of hookers, but usually during economic downturns, the prices of hookers go down, believe it or not, because the availability goes up. You know? So if you're in your hookers, blow, you're fucked. Can't get any fucking decent blow anymore, man, in the UK. It's all watered down fucking baby powder. A bunch of shit. You need to buy crack to make sure you're getting the right stuff. But when it comes to hookers, price of hookers come down because the availability goes up. Apparently, allegedly,
the key component of inflation, and that actually, as I say, tailed off. So the Bank of England may take some comfort from that, but the fact that the bank is going to be raising interest rates again almost certainly on the 4th of August, well, the question now is whether they go for a quarter-point rise, as they have been doing over the last 5 meetings, or whether they actually go for half a point, which would really indicate the seriousness of the situation. And the Bank of England Governor, Andrew Bailey, actually had a speech at the Mansion House here in the city last night, indicated that a half-point rise could potentially be on the table next time round. Obviously, this is something that we're seeing right around the world now. Central banks taking very drastic action to try and rein in inflation. The US Federal Reserve last month raised interest rates in the US by 0.75%.
Do you know the Federal Reserve isn't federal?
The Bank of Canada, meanwhile, well, they raised interest rates by a full percentage point last week. So
do you know the Federal Bank
is not just a UK issue, but it is a pressing concern right around the world.
Yeah, certainly concerning indeed. And Ian, I just want to ask you about a story that we've had just in the last few moments. The government's given the go-ahead for the new Sizewell C nuclear plant. This is on the Suffolk coast.
Yes, the government has given what's known as development consent to build a new nuclear power plant. There are obviously 2 former power stations there already on the Suffolk coast, Sizewell A, which is no longer operational, Sizewell B, which is still operating. That's actually one of the most modern nuclear reactors that the UK has. It was completed in the early 1990s. The government has been looking to build another new site there, Sizewell C. It's given development consent for this today. Now, there's been a very, very active local campaign against this, and from organisations such as the RSPB. But those have been overcome today. The conditions have been met.
Using people's scumbaggery
to go ahead. Should it go ahead, it would generate something like 7% of the UK's entire electricity needs. It would cost around £20 billion. But the building blocks have been put in place for the completion of Sizewell B. Recently, EDF, the French power company that is building Hinkley Point C on the north coast of Somerset, they've taken a 20% stake.
The French motherfuckers building shit in fucking Hinkley Point. Hinkley, could you get a gayer fucking... Ew! Hinkley Dinkley point! I think I added a Dinkley in there.
In the plant, so too has the UK government. So it's another step in what is still likely to be a very tortuous and long process in building the UK another new nuclear power plant.
Dinkley.
OK, Ian, thank you very much indeed. Ian King there in the city.
It's the homophobe in me. I'm sorry for
Now, time to check
adding
on the weather. I'm
Dinkley.
sure everyone will be wanting to find out what's happening after those record-breaking few days.
Yes. Record breakers! Oh no, we can't sing record breakers anymore. Did that guy to fucking Thing Me Castle no turn out to be a pure pedo fucking extraordinaire? Or am I tripping? Hold on, answers in the postcard, is it? I've not looked here for a while. Is there actually anybody watching? But, right. Alright, McVicker. Answers on the postcard. Did record breakers guy something Castle, did he end up to be a pedo fucking extraordinaire? Was he down with Jimmy Savile and all that? Or am I tripping? Does Craig look blue to you? Mate, I'm blue to the bone, mate. Cut me and I bleed blue. Oh. Shit, sorry. I've not been looking at the chat, so there's some chat with bad words didn't go through. Roy Castle, that's it. Method. Did he like fucking? Did he turn out to be a kiddie fiddler, or am I tripping? Am I filling in blanks? Or did that Roy Castle turn out to be like a pure kiddie fiddler then? I'm pretty sure he did actually. Fucking motherfucker, man. BBC was bog deep in that shit, man. Other fucking children's presenters. Andy Peters. Oh, no. Sorry, that's me. In fact, that's me talking the way I would normally, shooting for the hip. If I didn't feel that I'd be persecuted for the way that I fucking might think. Right, what I'm saying is, it certainly didn't seem like it didn't seem like a Sunday service class. Right, it didn't seem like the UK column. Right, didn't seem like a big bunch of people that would meet each other in church on a Sunday. Right, it seemed like a big bunch of people that would meet each other in a fucking sex fucking pest. A orgy. Savile, Andy Peters. No Andy Peters. Who's the black dude? Is it Andy Peters? He was a wee weakling, and then he pure disappeared off a children's TV and came back as a big butch fucking thing on fucking ITV, daytime TV. Andy Peters? Something like that. Ed the Duck cunt. One of the cunts with Ed the Duck. Anyway. That look blue. It's maybe I've been using the wrong fake tan. Right. Who was the black dude with Ed the Duck in the broom cupboard? Andy Peters. Was it Andy Peters? Yep, it was Andy Peters. Oh my fucking lord! Oh, hold on, I need to show you with the fucking Right. I don't know if this is really him or no. Check, is it? Is that really him? I can believe so because I do remember him disappearing from the broom cupboard and putting his hand up Ed the Duck. And then bouncing back like a big... Oh my fucking lordy lord, look at that shit. Right. What does a black gay guy want to be buff? Children's presenter tell you. I don't know about yous. See, when I want people entertaining my kids, the boxes I always tick is want to be buff, closet gay, literally works in a broom cupboard. I mean, was that like a pure inside joke? I don't know if you can remember this. Like, I was born in 81, right? So I grew up with Ed the Duck and shit. Andy Peters and whatever. Fucking, there was a white dude before that shit. With Ed the Duck as well. Oh, there's the Ed the Duck girl. Fuck. And, like, who wouldn't want... Like, and as I said, like back in the day, he was like a wee... As I would call it, normal guy. Right? In hindsight, he obviously didn't come across too masculine and shit, but he also didn't come across too feminine, because I don't think it would have been tolerated on live BBC. But obviously the recruitment fucking thingy was like a big bunch of fucking... big bunch of gay guys. I can see that, man. It's like if I ran a department, it might turn out to be a big bunch of Rangers fans. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm discriminating against the dirty, stinky, smelly Celtic fans or anything. Just because I prefer the nice smelling, clean cut Rangers fan. Because I don't stay in fucking hairy fairyland. I actually do stay in the real world to understand how things work. So I get how it get, and now looking back on it, man, I can see how it was like pure big bunch of pure big fucking gay viper den, man. You can, like, and all the super duper Christians will bounce in and say that we're programming the kids to turn out gay and all that. Ed the Duck was obviously gay. He had a guy fisting his ass every day. How much more gay can I say? Well, there's a difference there. But aye. Well, look, obviously I'm not the only one that's fucking noticed the pure difference. Is that really him? I don't know if that's really him. That doesn't look really him. Fuck, it might be. You never know, actually, because he did get pure fucking... Well, that doesn't look Photoshop. He was taking the juice, wasn't he, man? Is it only me that... Right. I would never entertain taking any shit like that ever. If somebody went like, here's a yogurt that might help you, I'd go, oh, I'll have a yogurt, but see, like, fucking stick needles in you and all that fucking jazz. Or taking pills and, nah, man. I've seen too many weird and adverse effects and shit like that. I mean, you don't know the long-term stuff. But he looks like he's on the juice, man. But maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe if you just work really hard, you end up that being natural, like that, overnight. Maybe. Oh god. Oh my god. Did he just take a pure picture of himself, kinda? Oh man. Hey, I'm borderlining fucking gay fucking porn here, man. Fuck this shit. Right. Perfect timing.
Storm across parts of eastern England, East Anglia into the southeast, basically where you can see the higher temperatures here between around 26 and maybe pushing 30 degrees in East Anglia. Elsewhere across western areas, it's a much fresher day. You can see with these symbols here, we're indicating where those storms are likely, but they are very hit and miss. If you look at the weather maps here, just specks of rain, but where they occur,
he was in the broom cupboard. I think the broom cupboard was like a funny fucking oxymoron. They just used to get all the fucking gay guys and stick them in the cupboard.
Tonight, so cloudy
come out the closet, you pricks.
Out towards the west, it'll be clearer.
I think it was an inside joke. I could get that. I could honestly believe that.
But with high pressure in charge, the weather is essentially going to be fairly settled across the UK. Doesn't mean it's going to be sunny all round. In fact, far from it. Through the morning, we could see an awful lot of cloud across central and eastern areas. Out towards the west, there will be sunshine
as it's transpired.
And I think tomorrow
people
again,
in the know
a
would have
chance of
known
catching some showers, maybe the odd crack of thunder as well, and very normal temperatures for tomorrow.
Although did Philip Schofield don't fucking have a wife?
High teens, low 20s for many of us, perhaps up to around 25. Also in London. And then on Friday, again, a chance of catching some welcome showers, some welcome rain. Again, we don't have too much rain in a short space of time, but some of us will even take that at this stage. Perhaps some showers also flirting with the south coast on Friday, and very pleasant weather conditions around 20 or so for many of us on Friday. Now, there are indications that another hot spell is heading our way, particularly for the southeast and East Anglia. And as we head into Sunday, temperatures once again in some spots could exceed 30 degrees Celsius.
It's nothing to do with being gay or straight or anything like that, man. It's about power and control, man. And those things are interwoven with power and control because of the demeanours that they've had throughout the years, which no longer exists, which makes
Good afternoon, you're watching BBC News, I'm Sean May. These are the latest headlines at 2 o'clock. Houses destroyed, hundreds evacuated from their homes, the aftermath of the wildfires from yesterday's record-breaking heat wave.
In 5 minutes they said it was unsalvageable, and by that point, when we took a step back and we saw it spreading to neighbours' houses, and we saw how quick it was going, the marsh was up, we just thought, we've got to get everyone out.
Sorry mate,
£1 billion project to build a new nuclear power station on the Suffolk coast has been approved by the government to help achieve its target of becoming net zero in the UK by 2050. 3 will become 2 this afternoon. Conservative MPs are voting right now on the final candidates who will go on to fight it out, become the Conservative Party's leader and the country's next Prime Minister.
I'm Ben Brown, live at Westminster. Those Tory MPs are voting now. They've got another hour to cast their ballot.
What do you mean, man? Came
at 4 o'clock.
Prices are rising at their fastest rate for 40 years. UK inflation jumped to 9.4% in June.
And he is gonna do it! Gold for Jake Whiteman!
And a stunning triumph for Jake Whitman, who becomes the first British man in nearly 40 years to win
Scottish!
the
I'm pretty sure he's fucking Scottish. I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, come on the Brits! Who says I'm fickle? Who fucking says I'm fucking fickle? Oh, it's a lie. But I love them.
Hello, very good afternoon to you. Welcome to BBC News.
This guy looks like the
Mayor of London
fucking
says yesterday
evil
was the
guy
busiest
for
day
Roger,
for the
who
capital's
framed
fire
Roger
service
Rabbit.
since the Second World War. More than 40 properties were destroyed by fires in London, which broke
Really
out
does, man.
in the
It's
record-breaking
not the prettiest.
temperatures. There were major incidents all over the country, including in
I'll
Norfolk,
be honest,
Suffolk,
I
Lincolnshire,
would need to
Leicestershire
hire him for
and
his
South
looks.
Yorkshire. The weather is also continuing to affect transport. We'll have more on that in a few minutes.
And
First,
that's
though,
me
our
saying
correspondent Tim Moffat reports from Wennington
sake.
in East London.
The devastated
And if you
village
look like
of
him,
Wennington.
you look beautiful.
What's believed to have started as a small fire in somebody's garden did this. Many
Hey, hold on a second. So what is believed to be a fire in a fucking garden is now getting framed as some sort of a fucking poster child for global warming. Love it! Fucking love it! Got it. Mwah. Oh my god, man, these people are good. I farted and a butterfly died. It's like the butterfly effect on acid. It's like the butterfly effect when you've took DMT and then snorted acid while smoking Mandy while somebody's pumping fucking cocaine smoke up your asshole. Wow, wee man, what a buzz! What? Woo! Got to try it. Got to try it, man. You got to try it. Just listen to this. Fire in the garden. Global warming.
homes, buildings and cars destroyed, but mercifully, no lives lost.
We looked over the neighbour's fence and they had a...
Hey, what a party, man! Like, where's Ozzy Osbourne walking about like that? Hey! Or the Fawns like that? Hey! And I know they were both the same sound effect because I'm so great.
Just a pile of grass cuttings was just smoking, as it does, you know, with like compost.
Well, mate, where's your fucking millennial haircut? You should have it. Shit, I can talk. You should have it all shaved round the sides and a big fucking Jew fro just coming out the top like Mr. Potato Head. Kinda there. You've kinda went there, but you've not got the balls to really go fucking the full hog, man. And you're wearing a Marvel fucking t-shirt. I don't know about you, but I always believe that eyewitness is somebody that believes in Spider-Man.
It heats up and combusts, doesn't it? That's why we took the hose pipe round, a couple of buckets, because we thought it's just a small fire, we'll do it. But by the time we turned the hose on and got round, the embers had blown out because the wind was so strong coming across from the marshes that it spread to their grass that it was.
Okay, so idiots from a fucking garden let something that they were doing spread into the marshes and all that, and they're going to blame global warming.
Inferno within a matter of 30 seconds, you know. Initially, we thought we might be able to...
No, that's it. I'm gonna stop throwing all my shit down the poop chute, and I'm gonna start putting it in the recycle bins so they can take it away to landfills and bury it in the fucking ground. Just the same that would happen if I put it down my poop chute.
Save the house, but then once they said no, there's no saving it, I think we took a step back, got to the green, then we realised it was spreading to the other houses. We didn't want anyone else to go through the same thing, so we got everyone out.
But I didn't anticipate it spreading as far as it did. I mean, I could see our house on fire, and obviously next door's house, but like to spread right across the green and like this took houses at like 150
I didn't know Paul Weller had
retired. In reflection, human life is the most important thing, like, you know.
The village remains cordoned off whilst the emergency services assess the damage. Now, the temperature is not as hot as it was yesterday, but the ground remains tinder dry, and that's why the flames spread so quickly.
Many residents of Wennington are now homeless. In just 24 hours, their lives have been turned upside down.
That looks like about 8 homes. Is that 32 people max? How big is this country?
departments of the
people
council
just
to
never
people this morning
context
from adult
perspective
services.
putting
Some of them
any of
have
this
been
shit, man.
traumatised without a doubt. We saw
It's
that
went
yesterday.
through the
That some
editor's
people were in complete shock
desk.
that they've lost
Yes,
everything they ever
global
had.
warming.
So we need to help
Boom,
and support
boom.
them
Gets
to
a
make
stamp
sure
of
we do that
approval.
going forward. But also, obviously, the key thing is housing, and obviously we'll do what we can to accommodate people.
Whilst in many other countries,
And
forest
obviously,
fires pose a particular
people
threat,
are.
in the UK, it's
Please,
grass
sir,
and heath
can I
fires
have
that
some
are of greater
more?
concern.
Writing
As
off,
the climate
man.
warms,
Shit.
there are fears that scenes like this could become more common.
BOOM! Global warming. Hooga booga 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 booga. Yes. The dinosaurs may have been extinct by big fucking fireballs and all that shit and all that bad jazz and all that, but it's nothing compared to somebody's garden fire spreading. Maybe 32 people. Oh my god. It's pathetic, right? And that's seeing that like on its own. Right, this is a horrible story, man. I've got mega sympathy for those motherfuckers affected and all that jazz, right? I just hate the way that that's getting used as part of a smaller piece of a bigger collage they're trying to build to sell you X, Y, or Z, which, in my opinion, is to just put China in a box without fucking having the balls to come out and go, we need to put China in a box. Now, all I need is a cheque for £1 million and a chap on the door, the boys in the black suits, tell me, here, shut the fuck up. We need to fucking kill China. There's £1 million. I'll be all on board, man. I'll shed a tear for that. I could honestly bust a tear for £1 million for this shit. Easy peasy, man. Given the right motivation. Until then, I need to look at wonky faced women. You need to stay in Scotland to know who she is. Wonky faced women. Telling me what time it is, motherfucker.
Tim Muffet, BBC News, in Wennington, in East London.
Tim Muppet.
And Matt Graveling is at Wennington for us now. Matt, there were extraordinary pictures yesterday, wreathed in smoke.
I'll do a good report just for a shirt like that. Look at that. How many slaves did he have up last night making sure that none of his coffee or his
first got calls of the flames here in
rolling
Wellington,
sausage this morning or whatever got on
8
that?
homes, although they also went on to say, well, actually, that number could rise as well as the damage once they go and they survey.
Is his skin as white as his shirt?
Called Wennington Road, and just out of shot you've got residents who actually live down this road, and they told me a little bit before
they actually live down a fucking road. Mate, don't move too fucking, don't move too much, you might crease that baby.
A police van came up behind me, and in the van were people's medication
collars,
and also some animals
cuffs,
reunited with their owners
starts,
because they had to run
collar,
out of their houses so
starts,
quickly
although
because the
it's
fire
getting a
spread
bit
so
crooked
fast
now,
they did
man.
have to leave many
It's
vital
not as
things
tight
behind.
as it
Now,
should
not all
be.
the residents are here, Sean, and I'll tell you why, because about 10-15
Tell us why.
there is a leisure centre, and the council are currently briefing all the people that went to that leisure centre about the state of their homes, and many people at that meeting will be told for the first time.
Did I just hear him say that there was councillors lecturing people about the state of their homes? The state of your fucking midden. Oh, Mrs. fucking Smith, what the state of that? What the state of that? What do you fucking call that? You know your house stinks of fucking cat piss. You know, look at the state of your... Hey, Mrs. fucking McDowell, look at the state of yours as well. It stinks of fucking dog shite. You know, clean that shit up. You let your dog fucking let you out in the morning. What the fuck's going on? I hear stuff differently. This new fucking thing, definitely hear things differently. Maximum volume? I must be pushing a button that I don't even know that exists. Anyway, I'm not going to argue while it seems to be kind of working. I think it's working.
It's going to be quite another distressing day for them. As frightening as yesterday must have been, Matt. I heard one resident on the radio this morning suggesting that one of the problems here may be that the homes are built on a site that's particularly vulnerable to fire. Have you heard anything of that in the course of the conversations you've had today?
Well, Sean, what I have heard today is that the fire investigation will, of course, be doing their investigation a little bit later. You heard in that clip there from Tim Muffet that they believe that this particular fire started in somebody's back garden and then spread. And I spoke to that young lad, and he told me that his parents had to flee the house so quickly that they had to leave behind 8 chickens, only having time to pick up their dog. So people here, there is no
all that way just to pick up a chicken. Oh no!
Around a deserted roadworks on a motorway, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to pick up 8 chickens.
It spread to their grass. It was just inferno within a matter of 30 seconds. You know.
Done that, aren't we?
That went to that leisure centre about the state of their homes, and many people at that meeting will be told for the first time.
See, I'm psychic. I
homes
can
are
get
gone.
that bit easy.
That's going to be quite another distressing day for them. As frightening as yesterday must have been, Matt. I heard one resident on the radio this morning suggesting that one of the problems here may be that the homes are built on a site that's particularly vulnerable to fire. Have you heard anything of that in the course of the conversations you've had?
You're crazy.
Well, sure, what I have heard today is that the fire investigation will, of course, be doing their investigation a little bit later. You heard in that clip there from Tim Muffet that they believe that this particular fire started in somebody's back garden and then spread. And I spoke to that young lad, and he told me that his parents had to flee the house so quickly that they had to leave behind 8 chickens, only having time to pick up their dogs. So people here, there is no suggestion that I've heard here on the ground that this area is particularly susceptible to heat in general. But of course, yesterday we had record temperatures right across the country, and fires weren't just here in East London. They were all over the place, and you heard there from the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, saying that it was the busiest day for the fire service since World War II. So people here, they're literally just out of shot, and they're waiting for more information. There's a hotel to my left where people have been staying. They told me, some of them, that they had to pay for the hotel last night out of their own pocket, and they're still waiting to find out what they're going to do tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be, as you say, big shocks ahead for some of the residents there. Matt, I know you'll be talking to them later. For now, thanks very much. Look forward to talking to you again in the course of the afternoon. Matt Graveling there, our correspondent in Wennington. Now, in Scotland, a new provisional maximum temperature of 35.1 degrees was recorded yesterday in Kelso in the Borders. Extreme weather is continuing to cause rail disruption. Dozens of
honestly, I'm like a fucking
delayed, and people are being
clairvoyant when it comes to lookalikes, man. I can see that shit.
Network Rail says it's setting up a task force to look at how the railways can adapt to rising temperatures in the future. Well, let's talk now to Alexandra Mackenzie, who is in Glasgow for us. Hello to you, Alexandra. It looks a bit more normal at the Central Railway Station today. How, though, normal is the service?
I mean, bastard.
No, definitely not normal. It doesn't look too bad. Like, I have seen the pictures of Euston and King's Cross, and I think that probably has looked busier within the stations. But this is a little bit deceiving. What you're seeing, there are queues right across the station. These are people queuing for the train to London. All morning they couldn't get directly from Scotland to London.
Let's choose the feminist thing.
Ago, the
first direct
train, hopefully they will get through from Central all the way
people just want to get treated the same.
But this isn't the whole queue.
Welcome in the world, man. Everyone's fucking good for the gander to get the fucking hole ripped right out of them, man.
In the city centre, I would have got some good shots for you. But yeah, some poor people outside. And thankfully, it's not 35 degrees today, that new provisional record. But it is
What, is your my play
quite
piece?
warm and quite clammy. And some people have been waiting here for a couple of hours. They've now started sitting down. They were meant to get some more people on the train about half an hour ago, but I heard someone
there's
telling
two
them
options
that
here.
it's
She's
probably
either
going
had
to
a
be
stroke.
another hour that
that's
they
how
are going to
like
be
that.
sitting here. And the first
Or
train that
she's
went, they managed to get a few people
like
on.
Sylvester
they said they could get
Stallone.
about 600 people on, but a lot of them are going to be
Had
standing
her fucking
as well.
nerves
So
and all
they
of
came
that
down
fucked
the
up.
queue and said,
Bill
"Would
getting
anyone
pulled
be
out her
willing to
Moss
come
fanny
and
with a
stand
pair
now?
of
Who doesn't want
fucking
to stand all the way to
pliers.
London Euston. Also,
Some
there's
people will use a
buses,
more
outside as well.
I call
so
them
a lot of
pliers.
people
Pair
are
of pliers
opting to
when
get
she
the
was
bus,
young.
maybe get a bit further down the
That's what
track
happened to
and
Sylvester
pick up,
Stallone.
a train a bit further.
He get pulled out his Moss fanny with a big pair of pliers, and it fucking ruptured all the
Sorry,
nerves
Alexander,
in
I
his
was gonna say,
neck.
perhaps stand for less of the journey.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of the trouble is.
I always thought he was just a borderline
this is because
idiot.
of extreme heat, as we know, and it's
Apparently
overhead
isn't
line
he
damage.
apparently
and most
isn't
of that
as
is
stupid
North
as he
London,
sounds
Lancashire,
or
Cumbria,
looks.
and around Birmingham
Apparently
New
he's got a bit more brain
Street.
spin.
So the damage itself isn't in Scotland, but obviously it's got a massive knock-on effect because of all that damage that's been caused. Network Rail have said that they've been working as fast as they possibly can, but obviously a huge job for them because of extreme temperatures. And as you said there in the introduction, they are setting up this task force so that hopefully we might not be in this situation if and when we get these extreme temperatures again.
Alexandra Mackenzie with the queuing hopeful passengers at Glasgow Central Station. Thank you very much. Now, let's talk to Dr. Gail Millen-Chalabi, who is a research associate in Earth observation at the University of Manchester. Dr. Millen-Chalabi, thank you very much for talking to us this afternoon. You're actually in the middle of a research project about a UK fire rating system, which sounds as though it may be something that's quite timely to be looking at. Can you tell us more about what that's trying to establish and how such a system might work?
Yes, sure. So what we are trying to establish is, first of all, a UK-wide fuel map, so we understand exactly where the fuel loads are, so we can understand then potential fire risk. As well as that, we're looking at a number of case studies across the country, running what we call a wildfire threat analysis. So looking at possibilities of risk of ignition in terms of proximity to buildings, to roads.
Is there anything that will
pathways,
not
and
be
to other
used to put you into a
Running as
state of
well
fear to
hazard
control
modelling,
you,
so fire spread
and
modelling,
ultimately is to either
and
tick a
also
box,
values at risk. So this means assessing
dance
the
like
risk
this,
to health and well-being,
like hop in one lick and click like a chicken, or part of your money,
recreation and biodiversity, and of course, as we saw yesterday, property.
I'm sorry, this bitch
well.
has seen her in fucking rain
assessment of
running man.
It's something that people
Rain Man, running man.
The different fire services around the country already
Something
know
that
about.
you've done
For
a
example,
remake
yesterday in Wellington,
recently.
We heard that farmers were
She's a fucking
being enlisted
cyborg,
by
look
the
at
fire
her.
service to help
She's
move
not
some of
real.
the chemicals on their farms to ensure that they didn't become a risk.
And we
of
all know who
explosion
this guy is.
Following on from the grass fire. Are you saying that information isn't necessarily widely available at the moment?
What it is that I think that at the moment we don't have that national picture of just the.
Sorry. The cyborg is taking over there, man. They were putting their fucking gang sign
Then it
out
all goes,
live.
when we get the final two, to the wider Tory party membership. Over the summer, they get the chance to choose who they want to be their...
Well, joining us now is Jonah Fisher, our environment correspondent. Jonah, tell us more about this, because Sizewell's not new as a location.
Yes, I've been corresponding with the environment. Yes, what did you learn? I learned that water is wet, the sun is warm, the wind is windy,
very much
and the snow is cold.
Well, there's been Sizewell A in terms of generating
One thing
capacity.
I actually
There'll be
agree
two reactors there.
The most green energy you can find, but all the green cunts, arseholes, Twitter,
and then there's the cost. Nuclear is extremely expensive when you compare it to other sources of energy, particularly renewables at the moment.
When you talk about
solar are
mini
considerably
nukes
cheaper than nuclear.
Cleaner nuclear power stations.
Nuclear is just too slow to develop, too expensive, and that we should.
Right.
Directing their supporters to vote for anybody
you know
in particular.
that I'm going to now
and then it
get
all
death
goes,
threats
when we get the final
because
two, to the wider
I played
Tory
the
party
BBC saying
membership.
something
Over the summer,
positive
they
about
get the chance
nuclear
to choose
energy.
who they want to be their next leader. The successor, of course, to Boris Johnson, who gave his last Prime Minister's questions today in the Commons.
Woohoo! Yeah, baby!
Any regrets, Prime Minister?
Well, if he had a few, Boris Johnson clearly
Any
thought there were too
regrets?
few to mention.
You're
He left Downing
hunchback.
Street for his 93rd and final
It
Prime Minister's
does look a
questions,
lot
though
hunchback,
attention
man,
was
like-
already turning to who might replace him.
Prime Minister.
But the Prime Minister seemed less interested in this than the rest of Westminster.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not following this thing particularly closely, but
Though he claimed any of the leadership candidates could beat the opposition.
any one of which, as I say before, like some household detergent, would wipe the floor.
Keir
Some
Starmer had
house
an interesting line
detergent.
of questioning, suggesting
Cunt
that
is
some of
a
the strongest
fucking
critics of the
maniac.
Conservative government were those vying to lead it.
Does the Prime Minister agree with this?
Seriously, this is an extension of remember when you were in primary school, right? And then you went to high school, right? I know fucking English motherfuckers are all weird. And everybody else from the whole rest of the world are all weird and shit, right? But in normal land, Middle Earth, Scotland, the rulers of the world, the centre of the universe, we have primary school. And you go to primary school, and then you get let loose in high school, and that's like a baptism of fire, right? And then when you get let loose in the baptism of fire of high school, these motherfuckers then bounce off to like college and universities, so on and so forth, depending on how much dough they do or do not have. The House of Commons is an extension of that. Like, you know, you'll get some people that will drift towards, like, business or whatnot, X, Y, or Z, and then they'll get brought into politics. But then you get people that tend to be, like, Sir Keir Starmer and BoJo's. They're the ones that tend to just be steered towards meteorical rise. You know, whether it be a wee job in the fucking with the Independent or the Guardian in the EU, or whether it be a wee job here, where it's just hitting the treadmill. They know where they're going. Their card is already marked. It's been marked since they've been in fucking private school, arguing about this shit in the fucking cafeteria. This is the arguments that these twats had in the cafeteria. There was no fucking hammers. There was no fucking screwdrivers. There was no fucking lockbacks, knives, so on and so forth. There was no hidden people doing fucking stairs. There was nothing like that. It was all just this shit. Watered down bullcrap.
Former Chancellor, that plans put forward by the other candidates are, in his words, I've got them here, nothing more than the fantasy economics of unfounded promises.
You fucking hell, man. And then Boris Johnson. Some cunt might show me a fucking commoner in the House of Commons. Some cunt rock up. Some cunt smell their finger. Fucking admit to farting. Do something. Admit to being a fucking commoner in the House of fucking Con Men. It's not the House of Commoners anymore. It's the House of Con Men. And women with dicks.
Names of the two candidates who'll battle it out over the summer.
Look at this fucking podgy-eyed motherfucker. In all seriousness, look how ugly this cunt is. Number one, he's Scottish as well. We're overrepresented. We're the Jews of the UK, right? So, wonder why the Jews fucking are like 90% of your American media. Well, wonder why Scots are 90% of your UK media. When we do have our own parliament. But they all still want to fucking be bought deep down in Westminster as well. You know? That's why independence will never happen. Because we want pigs at the trough. That's what it is. It's more pigs at the trough.
To become our next Prime Minister. The result will be announced on September the 5th. But most of us, of course, don't get a say.
Like, no offence, fucking bagface, man. Look at the state of this cunt.
Members will determine the result.
Ain't the prettiest,
and the
is he?
remaining candidates have been making their final pitch to get onto that ballot. Fourth-placed Kemi Badenoch has dropped out of the race and is remaining tight-lipped about who she'll support now.
So I won't be declaring.
But this morning there's been frantic attempts by the remaining candidates to persuade the MPs who backed her to switch to them. Liz Truss has been gaining on second-placed Penny Mordaunt. Today she pledged that she'd assemble a cabinet of all the talents. That's been taken as code that she'd offer jobs to defeated candidates in return for support. The Penny Mordaunt campaign is getting personal. They claim Liz Truss can't win an election, and they insist, as she isn't in Boris Johnson's cabinet, it's Penny Mordaunt who can offer a fresh start. Rishi Sunak has emerged as a front-runner amongst his fellow MPs, but polling suggests he may face a bigger challenge winning over party members. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Mission largely accomplished.
That's how Boris Johnson summed up his premiership.
Hasta la vista, baby. Thank you.
That's a well-known line from the Terminator movies, but perhaps another Terminator line comes to mind too.
Hey, remember, right? He's saying a line in the House of Commons that most people, even that none of them are commoners, in the House of Commons, none of them are commoners. I don't know what one of them is a commoner. I can't believe a commoner. Right? And then this cunt has to point it out to the fucking pathetic viewing public. That's a line from the well-known film The Terminator. Like, my God. Where are these people from? Where did they, and what test tube did they grow up? And why are we watching something paid by the commoners, for the commoners, with the House of Commons, with no commoners involved? Can you see any motherfucker, any one of them, any of them, on your best day that represents you? I just must be a bigger scumbag than everybody else, or maybe I'm just a regular commoner. Maybe I'm a commoner, and I don't like... In fact, I'm out of it, man. I've declared myself independent, I've held myself on 2 elections, I've held my own vote. I'm out. This is nothing to do with me. I'm just looking for the outside in. I've got my own land. I'm setting up camp. I'm going to take over. In fact, I'm not going to take over the world, baby. I'm just getting my own wee enclave fucking carved out, man, away from this madness. Like a house called the House of Commoners with a bunch of fucking Acropolis want-to-be elitists. Every single last fucking one of them. See all the cunts in the back benches? You know how many scumbags are there, cunts, you could fucking go and root out in your local community? Who might borderline being a commoner, but they bounce up in that fucking place and they're like scrubbing all their commoner pals for their constituency. I don't know. Why is the biggest shithole in Glasgow Nicola Sturgeon's constituency? I've said my conspiracy theory about that little Hitler bitch a million and one times before, and I'm not going to waste my voice again, man. If people can't see it, they can't see it, man. It's not my job to school fucking little idiots that fucking just want to go and gobble that shit up. There's too many fools. And then the people that want to just gobble the David Icke shit up, or, oh my God, is he one of them? Is he one? Oh God, man, I've seen fucking adults adults, like people, like I'm fucking. Obviously, I'm 28-year-old. Adults, man, grown fucking adults, men and women, sitting talking like some sort of a weird, like talking about like fucking celebrities and people and stuff, and because they done this film or that film or done this or said that or said this, all in the press that are known liars, by the way, so don't believe them, but just believe them when the shit fucking fits your narrative. Go. Seeing grown fucking, and this is why I upset so many people. Oh man, Jesus and fucking toast. Jesus and toast. Jesus and fucking toast. Do you know how many people see Jesus and toast? Too fucking many. Do you know how many people that see Jesus and toast realise that they're seeing Jesus on a slice of fucking toast? Zip, zero, nata. They all fucking ball deep at their in. It's other than the Illuminati. Fucking fake snow, flat fucking earth. Fucking craziness. Absolute nutbarville. And then when you point that out, you're the problem. You're the nut bar. I know, because you don't want to like stop liking football, for example, or you don't want to hate your family. Sounds mental, doesn't it? Sounds mental. Not in the fucking nut of a conspiracy fucking crazy person, which exists in droves.
We'll be back. Ian Watson, BBC News.
I'll be back.
So the voting underway right now.
He'll be back. Is that what he means by that?
Not much longer for Tory MPs to cast their ballots. They've got until 3 o'clock. The result at 4. Let's go to Layla Nathu, our political correspondent, who's inside the Palace of Westminster. Layla, what are you picking up? Any idea how it's going?
Well, Ben, it's calmed down.
Palace of Westminster. It's got the House of Lords in one wing, the House of Commons in the other, and right in the middle it's got the big Star of David, the big lobby of Parliament with everybody.
Going on outside the room where people are voting. MPs being ticked off on a register as they go in to cast their ballots, but lots of briefing. Team Liz Truss, Team Penny Mordaunt saying they're confident they've got the momentum. Rishi Sunak's team trying to dismiss talk of votes being lent in order to try and engineer who's going to face him likely in the second place in the ballot. But there is going to be about half an hour to go of voting underway. Lots of conversations I think still to be had. A few MPs still left to vote. And then we've got until about 4 o'clock until we find out who's made it onto the final two.
And let's just remind viewers, this is the end of the parliamentary process that whittles all the contenders down to these last two. But then it's the turn of the wider Tory party membership. We don't even know exactly how many there are. I think about 175,000 was the last count I heard. But the polling there has been, Layla, of that wider Tory party membership has, and it's limited polling, but it seems to show that either Penny Mordaunt or Liz Truss would comfortably beat Rishi Sunak.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense that this place is winding down, so Parliament does break up for its summer holidays.
We're going to get the next Maggie Thatcher, I'm telling you, man, that wee Maggie Thatcher bitch. It's the 70s, y'all. 70s relived, man. Winter and summer are discontent.
Tory party members to
heat waves
with ballots straight away, and they'll have about a month
power
or so,
cuts
from the beginning of August to cast their ballots. And during that time, there will be hustings around the country, so the final two contenders will no doubt be planning a number of events, a number of husting to appeal to Tory party members around the country. Now, yes, there are a limited bunch. There are fewer than 200,000 Conservative Party members who are going to decide who our next Prime Minister is.
Anthony,
so a very limited group. But the polling you mentioned has been quite interesting and actually quite fickle in some senses. There's been some movement of candidates moving in and out of favour.
I'm going to do the off, man. Make sure you stick a wee thumbs up. It's much appreciated, man, even if it is just to fucking watch me with my bad
by the BBC on Monday for the final two contenders. So lots of things still in the
fuck
mix.
me, man.
In order
Crazy,
for people to
crazy
make up their
days
mind
indeed.
from.
There's no crazy days.
I mean, I think
Every day is a crazy day, man.
Rishi Sunak's team
It's normal.
feel that he is,
Just normality
he hasn't been polling
resumes.
as well among members. But that they are confident that there is
As I
enough
said,
time
man, I'm
to
out
build
of this
that
shit,
up,
man. I
and
just
Penny
like
Morgan's
to.
team and Liz Truss's team will certainly be pointing
I just
to
like
the
to add
positive polling that
commentary.
both those candidates have received.
Commentary
amongst
on the
priorities
bullshit,
of those two.
and
Because Rishi
I ain't
Sunak
got an
does at the
army.
moment have
I
the backing
don't
of
want
most
an army.
MPs. It's very likely
So
that
I'm
he will
never
be
going
one
to
of the
change
two,
shit.
To choose from. But
So
clearly, Penny
all I
Morgan
can do
and
is
for
sit
Liz
for
Truss,
the
priority for those two
sidelines
is to actually
and
make
use
it
my
to the
freedom
point
of
where they are
speech
the other choice in order that the Conservative members
to
can actually
say
choose
what I
between
want.
them. So there might be an interesting sort of mismatch
Alrighty,
if you
boob
like,
chips.
between who Tory MPs favour here and what the
Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And just have a good afternoon, y'all. Charlie says, drink lots of water and don't die. Catches. Clips. And remember, citizens, all you need to do to survive is hit subscribe, hit the bell as well for notifications. And $19.95 plus shipping and handling will keep you out of here.